Hello. Hi, Andy. How are you, sir?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Then, how about there? How about weather over there?
It's very nice. It's been finally it's cooler here in Florida. So
Wonderful, wonderful. Welcome to our BizBen talk. We call it BB talk. I met you and I found out how amazing and great organization and Transworld that is made in Orlando, Florida. After that, it is really amazing. I saw many, even West Coast, there's many your team member over here. And thank you for your time. And why don't you starting talk about we have a two part. The first one is personal, 15 minutes, and second part is professional. Why don't you talk about yourself to our BizBen client and BizBen family?
sure. So thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. So I got into this business, I got out of college. I was looking for something to do, and I really didn't know what I wanted to do. And I wound up starting a small cell phone sales company, and it wasn't very successful. I was by myself, and I was out there selling phones for $2,000 a piece. And I always liked being an entrepreneur, and I kind of bounced around from job to trying to start a business, and I wound up eventually buying a business in Connecticut that based with some family members that we sold pasta. And I'm from it. My family's from Italy, so we thought this was a good idea. So we made pasta, and it was a nice gourmet food store. And we actually bought the company from someone, and we wound up running it for a little while, and then we sold it. And the whole buying and selling process of a business was good. We actually bought it, we built it up a little bit, we sold it for more money than we bought it for. So I thought that was great. In the meantime, I was living in Connecticut and met my wife, Allison, and she had grown up in Florida. And she wanted to move back to Florida to raise our family. So I thought that was a good idea. I do like the nice weather down here. So we moved to Florida with the idea that, hey, since that worked out once before, buying and selling a business, maybe I would do that again. And it was funny, in Connecticut, I bought and sold that business and never ran into a business broker, never knew what a business broker was, just never knew the business existed. But when I came down here to Florida in 1995, there was a lot of business brokers. And so I started visiting a lot of business brokers and back then, before they had the internet, we used to look in the newspaper for ads. And so I went to a few business brokers, and for the most part, disappointed in the process and disappointed in the customer service, felt like I was being sold something I really didn't want, until I met with Transworld. And Transworld was then owned by Don and Bonnie Parrish. Don was a 30-year IBM executive.
Oh, yeah.
Who worked at NASA, and he worked at IBM International. And his wife was an amazing business broker. And they owned Transworld at the time. And so in meeting with them, they were very professional, very caring about my situation. And since I really didn't know what I wanted to do, they said, hey, would you consider joining us at Transworld? And I said, well, I don't know anybody here in Florida. It sounds like a good way to get to know the local economy. Why don't I join Transworld? So I joined Transworld as a salesperson in 1995. And in my first year, I sold 9 businesses, which was pretty good back then. Yeah. And so I really liked the business. I had been in the cell phone business. I've been in the guitar business. I've been in the pasta business. I've been in a few different businesses where if you weren't selling every day, you weren't making money. So when I got to this business and it said, wait a second, if I could get one deal a month done, I'm going to be a hero in this business. So I really enjoyed Transworld. And 2 years into my sales person role here at Transworld, Don's full retirement kicked in at IBM, and he and Bonnie decided that they were going to travel the world. So I offered to buy Transworld. So in 1997, I bought Transworld. We were one office at the time. And, we decided that I was the youngest person at Transworld. We had about 6
Oh.
of us at the time. And I looked at everybody who was here at Transworld and I said, here's my job. My job is to help you succeed. You
Mhm.
tell me what you need. Everybody's more experienced than me. You tell me what you need to succeed, and I'm going to get you those tools. And really, that's what I've been doing for the last, now almost 30 years that I've owned Transworld, the 20 something years that I've owned Transworld.
Wow.
I am, here to help people succeed.
Wow, that is amazing. That is a very natural growth. You're starting for business, a business broker, and you buy and Transworld and one by one. Then after that, after you join the Transworld, what is a tipping point to grow up and the Transworld overall?
Yeah, so it was
Mm.
interesting. We had the one office here, and in
Mhm.
1999, some friends of mine from New York were down, and they created this Capco program,
Mhm.
and that company eventually became Newtek. And Newtek was then investing in companies, and they decided, hey, we want to help you, Andy, grow. So in 1999, they invested in Transworld, and we started growing. So we went from one office in Florida to 10 offices that we own throughout the state. And in that process, we eventually, Newtek decided, they went public. They decided business brokerage wasn't their business. They were going to work on the SBA side. And so we bought the company back with a few people internally, and we grew to 10 offices in the state of Florida. And we thought we were doing great. And then, 2008 and 2009 come along,
Mhm.
and all of a sudden we're like, how do we get to Atlanta? How do we
Mhm.
get to Charlotte? The economy is really not doing well.
Mhm.
It was very hard to open up remote offices without having internal management or somebody who really was invested in the office being, successful. So we
Mhm.
decided, hey, we need good partners. So we said,
Mhm.
what's a good partnership arrangement that we can have to help Transworld grow? And I think the real tipping point was, we decided to go out and look to see if we could franchise. And
Mhm.
so we found United Franchise Group. And United Franchise Group most famously owns Sinorama, and they own several other brands. I got together with Ray Titus and Bill Luce and some of our executives at the time, and we
Mhm.
decided to joint venture together and grow Transworld through
Wow.
franchising. And that was in
Mhm.
2010. And, we've now grown to, a couple hundred offices around the world,
Mhm.
and, almost 1,000, agents running around selling businesses.
Mhm. Wow, that is moment after you join or work with the UFG. That is a moment of the tipping point to grow up. And then,
Yeah, it was really interesting.
mm,
At the time UFG had already started a business brokerage. They had
mhm,
about 20 units already, and
20 units. Mhm.
we came aboard and we decided it would be much better for us to work together, and for us to give us some of our knowledge and expertise to help those new
Mm,
franchisees grow. Certainly in the beginning of franchising, when you launch a franchise, those first 100 offices, that's really kind of like really where it's hard to kind of make sure that everybody's following the system, getting the systems down correctly. So yeah, maybe the real tipping point is once you've broken that 100th office,
okay.
and you're really on the other side of that. And now, not only have the original location, which was
Mm,
Florida, now you've proven the model elsewhere. Our
that's right.
first big city was
Mm,
Denver. They
mm,
really kind of took it to the next level, and then Houston and New York, and all these other areas of the country that have taken our model and grown very large.
mm. And the middle of that growth, there is any growth pain, any difficult time to your business sustainable?
Yeah, I mean, there's
Mm.
always pain. you know,
What kind?
I well, I mean, so part of the hard part in the beginning was certainly convincing people that our system worked, that, you know, investing in marketing, investing in technology, going out in your community and becoming a trusted advisor. You know, everybody wants to take shortcuts, and there really are no shortcuts in this business. It's very hard to get it to the next level. So, the hard part in the beginning, the painful part, was trying to convince people. A lot of people would look at us and say, well, that only works in Florida. You know, that only works in Florida. You've been in Florida for 20 years. That's only going to work there. It's because you've been there for 20 years. And the real breakthrough, again, becomes when other franchisees start to do well, and they tell the other franchisees, no, it's not just Florida. You have to listen to Andy, and you have to listen to the system. So.
Got it. Okay. And thank you, Dan.